welcome back, everybody, for some members first content. This is my top 10 and 10. These are the 10 hottest comics that I found this past week hitting the aftermarket that have been selling either in high prices, high volume, etc. Hopefully, you find this helpful. I try to run this down quickly because we don't need to spend a lot of time talking about all of these books. You just want to know what books are selling, and I aim to do it in 10 minutes or less. This week is a bit of a special week because we do have San Diego Comic-Con dropping right now as I'm filming this. So was day one today. So you might not be too surprised that I will have a couple of the exclusives here. I know we normally don't talk about exclusives when I do my top 10s, etc., but you can't deny that they are selling. So there are a lot of San Diego exclusives that for people out there, they're grabbing them, they're in hand, they're selling them for a premium. All I can say is try not to get FOMO. Don't get caught up on all these crazy prices at the start. As you'll see, even now, some of the prices are already coming down a little bit. So just ease up, relax, and if you want to see what books we have for you this week, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back. All right, so let's get this party started. Where is my timer? 10 minutes or less, and we are off and running. We will start off, as we always do, with the follow-up to the Wednesday watch list. So, have any of the books that I was looking ahead to this past week for New Comic Book Day Wednesday, any of those books still hot? Not many. It was an odd week. There aren't a lot that were selling, for a ton. Maybe it's because of San Diego. I don't know. But there is one that is still doing pretty well, and that is the Harley 1 in 25. There's been 20 plus sales on this 1 in 25 incentive, which is no tiny amount. It's not a huge amount either. Still of note that this is selling for a lot more than the 1 in 50. It's a better cover, but it is the 1 in 25 as opposed to the 1 in 50. Copies of this thing, when I was looking at the pre-sale prices, it hit up to like $80. A lot of sales in that $40 to $50 kind of range as well. Double ratio plus. It seemed to be trending on the upswing going into the week because this came out on Tuesday. And then since, New Comic Book Day this week, prices kind of leveled off a little bit. Yes, there was a sale that for one reason or another just ended today at $84 at auction. Could have been some high bids put in kind of early, over there in the UK, but some of the others are starting to hit more of that $55, almost $60 range. So it's still pretty high, but it's kind of leveling out, I think, a little bit, easing into that kind of double ratio kind of area. So that's what we're looking at for this past week's new books. And as I mentioned in the open, we do have to acknowledge that it is San Diego Comic-Con. It's just not for me. I'm never going to go out there. It's just too crazy, too many people. It's not what I'm into. It isn't. Like, I don't care about all the panels, etc., the signings, celebrities. That's great, but it's just not for me. Too many crowds, too many lines. It's not for me. Apart from the fact it's all the way on the other side of the country. But with that all said, there are a lot of exclusives. And I mean, there are a lot of exclusives. And we're only talking about the comics. There's a ton of toys, too, which we'll get into on some of the other shows here on the channel. So make sure you're watching all of them. But with that, let's look at some of the exclusive comic books that are already selling for a decent amount. First up, I'm a fan of Campbell. I have the other 3 versions of this one. I did not get this one because, again, I didn't go out there and I'm not paying these prices. But Amazing Spider-Man 25, this is like that K-pop kind of version of MJ, Black Cat, and Gwen. I like it. It's great, but I ain't paying this. I'm not paying this because right now this thing is already pre-selling, or not, shouldn't say pre-selling because it's in hand now. It's selling for like 100 to 120 bucks. Yes, there's some copies a little bit less, like a best offer on 80, but by and large, most of the sales have been about 100 bucks. That's way too steep for me it's limited to like 2,200 copies, I believe. I don't know what the buy-in was, but it's still too rich for my blood. Sold out, and I think JSC also had this on his store. I'm pretty sure it sold out there pretty quickly as well, but there are copies to be had. If you want them, they're just expensive. Moving on, we do have another Invincible #1. I know, I would rag on them re-releasing another reprint Invincible #1, but this is the 20th anniversary of Invincible and Walking Dead this year at San Diego, so I'll let this one pass. And, it is. There's also a black and white version, I believe, as well. That's also selling pretty solid. I'm not getting into that one. This is just the regular one, the convention exclusive for San Diego. There's a big presence for Skybound there at San Diego from what I could see for some pictures and etc. But this book also selling pretty well. You could get it, I guess, at the Skybound booth, but 80 to 80 to 90 bucks. It's probably going to tip out at 100, but a lot of them are in that $80 range, which, it's not too bad if you're into this thing. I've seen sets with the black and white sell for 200 thereabouts. So again, the black and white must be a little bit harder, a little bit more limited. I'm not a fan of the black and white, but here you go with this. They have other Invincible exclusives as well. A couple of covers for issue 2. There's a Rose Besh that's kind of interesting. There's a Trad Moore for number 11 for one reason or another, but I don't actually love that one all that much. There's a Battle Beast or whatever the heck his name is, number 19 version out there. There's a lot. As I said, there are a lot of exclusives out there in San Diego this year. So mind your wallet. Don't get caught up in it. Don't get FOMO. Don't go spending your entire paycheck on comic books this week just because you like pretty covers. I get it. I love them too, but we got to practice a little bit of restraint. Okay? Just be strong. Be strong. They'll be there. If you want it later, they'll be there. That said, I kind of want this. I bought the 1 in 100. I got all the other Void Rivals for this, basically. I want this. I like this cover with Jetfire. This is the San Diego exclusive, but it's a reprint. I mean, it is what it is. You can call it convention exclusive all you want. This came out months ago. The issue 2 is out now. So this is a reprint. Whatever you want to call it, this is a reprint. But it's a cool Jetfire cover. That said, I'm still not paying, what is it going for? Like 80 bucks, I think. Yeah, 85, 70, $90 best offers. A lot of $80 type sales. That's too much for me to be spending on this exclusive. It's cool. I want one, but not for that much. Maybe 30 is more what my wallet would say is okay, but it's probably not going to dip down that low. But who knows? I'll be patient and see what happens. That said, this one's selling pretty well, but there's also another one that's getting a bit of buzz out there. Another Daniel Warren Johnson cover as well, who will be doing the new Transformers series because there is an ash can. So an ash can for Transformers 1, which again, it's a cool cover. I want it. I wouldn't mind having it, but I'm not out there. I'm not going to get one because I'm not going to be paying these prices for this ash can for issue 1, convention exclusive or whatever. But it is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. But look at these sales. Again, $80, $70, best offer on 85. I'm not paying $80 for this. I just can't. Just can't in good conscience pay 80 bucks for this. But you guys do what you want. I'm just trying to tell you, just think for a second, pause, take a breath, and then decide whether you want to buy some of this stuff. That's all. I get it. You're on the East Coast like me. You're not out there. You're seeing all these things. The price is going crazy. You're seeing them talked about on all these other shows. Look at this cover. It's great. It's great. And they are. But we can only spend so much. That said, we only got 3.5 minutes, and I still got 5 more books to get into that aren't San Diego related or not New Comic Book Wednesday related. And we're going to get into some of the old stuff. Apparently, rumor Kenneth Branagh is going to be doing a Gargoyles live action movie. Seems weird, but okay. I'll watch it if they do it. But 20 plus sales so far the last few days. Basically, is a lot of the movement here. As you can see some of the prices. It's on an upswing again. Some $60, $40 sales. This has been kind of pricey for a little while, but hitting 60 is starting to get some new highs once again. So it's on the upswing because of this recent rumor and news. Also, some of the news coming out of like James Gunn the last couple of weeks, also mentioning some Superman Legacy casting, etc. Mr. Terrific and some of the other characters that are cast for Superman Legacy has some speculation that this is the team we'll see in Superman Legacy. Not the Authority, but maybe we see the Terrifics. A couple of the players are there. Metamorpho cast as well. Metamorpho, we got Mr. Terrific. It's possible. We'll see. 30 plus sales on this book. This thing you can still find out there, but copies have been selling for 20 to 30 bucks. Kind of on average this last week. So not too bad if you have them to sell them, but just again, take a breath, ease up. Team first appearances. Yeah, what are you going to do? Like they don't last all that long. It's not a character first. It's the first of this team. So I'd not get too overexcited. Blue Beetle's coming. A couple of weeks. We're getting a Blue Beetle movie. I don't know if the buzz is, I've seen mixed. Some people looking forward to it. Some of it just think it's a throwaway DC movie. I don't know what to expect. I don't know how this is going to perform, but this book is still selling. So plenty of them out there. Infinite Crisis, both covers, Second Prince as well. $60 highs of the Jim Lee cover. And then you can see the other one's only like 13 bucks. So a pretty big discrepancy between the Blue Beetle on the cover and the Blue Beetle not on the cover. Let's keep that in mind as well. But a decent number still moving as far as volume goes. Wolverine Deadpool, even though all the production is halted, we're not getting this anytime soon, this comic still seems to be selling. be mindful. There's two versions of this. There's a $1.95 cover direct, and there's a $1.50 direct, and there's a newsstand as well. Different versions. Tough to find in high grade. That spine is usually ticked up. Even the picture I have here, it's spine ticked up. But 50 plus sales over the last week, with prices ranging anywhere from like $60 all the way up to $90 for this thing. Some best offers on like $500 for 9/8. It's kind of crazy. Just ease up, ease up. I get it, but again, it's like a first meeting, first fight. I mean, I guess it's important. I don't know. I'm not. Wallet's not coming out for this. I already have one, but it wouldn't be coming out at these prices for something like this. Personally, that's not the kind of stuff that I really like to collect. That's like dollar bin digging type of collecting. I like finding weird stuff like that for cheap, not for these prices. But that's just me. You do what you want to do with your wallet. That said, last one for this week. Look at this. We're going to come in under time. I think piggybacking off of that Mr. Terrific stuff is the first appearance of Mr. Terrific, which really happened in the Spectre, number 54. So inside this book, you get the first Mr. Terrific, and this book has been selling okay over the last few months, but for whatever reason this week, I seem like these prices are crazy. Look, $200. A raw copy, $200, 115. Oof. Ease up. 8 bids up to $85 or $84 thereabouts. So I don't know, selling pretty well. And worth note, the volume, it's not super high, but those prices are kind of high. So with that, 10 seconds to spare. That's our top 10 for this week. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I know we had a lot of exclusives with those San Diego books, but I didn't want to ignore them because they are selling. You saw some of those prices. I'm just telling you, my faithful viewers, no FOMO. No FOMO. Just take a breath. Take a breath. But thank you all, members. You guys will get this late Thursday. I'm filming it now. It's like 10 o'clock on Thursday. Going to edit it real quick, drop it, and everybody else will get this tomorrow, late afternoon, or maybe early afternoon, because I might have to drop Dollar Bin Digging tomorrow as well. And then the Get Off My Lawn Boys will be live at 9 on Friday. So with all that said, thank you. I appreciate all the support. Plenty more coming your way. SNS on Saturday, Tales from the Dark Side on Sunday. Come Monday, we'll have the Wednesday watch list. I know that's confusing. Monday, Wednesday watch list. And then I think next week I'll do a Hidden Gems for you on Tuesday because I'm staggering them. For the summer schedule, we're going to stagger Chasing Ghosts and Hidden Gems. So I think we got a last to know version of Hidden Gems coming your way. Not 100%. I got to go check my my list, my to-do list. But again, with that all said, thank you. I'll see you all later with some more content. All right. Bye.